The report came on the same day Israel buried a 19-year-old soldier and a beloved rabbi killed by a Palestinian terrorist. The UN Human Rights Council condemns Israel's fight against violent protests on the Gaza border.
We found reasonable grounds to believe that the Israeli security forces committed serious violations of human rights and international humanitarian law.
It's been nearly a year since Palestinians launched the protests with the goal of breaching Israel's border. Known as the Great March of Return, experts say it's anything but peaceful.
The report completely and utterly ignores the fact that these are very violent demonstrations, including the use of firearms and throwing grenades, breaking through the security fence, people who've been given maps of Israeli towns and villages in close proximity to the border fence so that they can get there and kill as many Israelis as they can.
The clearest comparison you can give to the UN's latest report on the events in Gaza is maybe comparing it to a report on the D-Day landing of the Allied forces during the Second World War, looking at that event alone and then claiming that the Allied forces were the aggressors against the Nazis.
According to the report, Israel killed 189 peaceful protesters last year. Ambassador Alan Baker from the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs calls those demonstrations well planned.
And they say, well, all these are, they include children and they're peaceful people who weren't doing anything. In actual fact, the Hamas itself has publicized the fact that virtually all these people are senior Hamas terrorists.
Attorney Maurice Hirsch from the Palestinian Media Watch sees a clear agenda in the March of Return.
It's to allow the refugees from Gaza to return to Israel and basically kill all of the Jews in their path.
The hatred has been enforced by Palestinian Authority teaching.
The education system of the Palestinian Authority teaches kids to see terrorist murderers as heroes, encourages them to take part in terrorism, and then rewards them for being arrested in acts of terrorism.
In addition to violence, Palestinians made headlines during the last year for launching balloons and kites armed with incendiary and explosive devices across the border. Hirsch said Hamas even posted instructions on social media.
These are acts of war. These are violent demonstrations organized by terrorist groups who put out clear instructions on Facebook saying, hide your weapons, not so that the Israeli soldiers won't see them, but hide them so that you can kidnap Israelis and pass them over to the resistance forces.
Baker calls Israel's actions justified.
And if these people are firing weapons or throwing grenades or sending explosive kites and balloons, then Israel has got every right to defend itself. And one of the striking aspects of this report is the complete and utter denial of the right of Israel to defend itself.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.